You reach for a stick without thinking, to scratch your back, to poke something you don't want to touch, to point at a direction. It feels like nothing. But 500,000 years ago, a stick like that was the most advanced piece of technology on the planet. And the moment your ancestors sharpened one end of it, everything changed. Not just how they hunted, how they thought. Because a spear is not just a weapon, a spear is a plan. Picture it, a small band of early humans on the open grassland of what is now South Africa. No claws, no fangs, no armored hide, slower than almost every predator around them. And hungry. The odds should have crushed them, but something in their hands started to shift the odds back. In 2012, archaeologist Jane Wilkins and her team examined stone points recovered from a site called Kathu Pan 1. The damage patterns on those points were not random. They matched the exact fracture marks you get when a sharpened stone slams into something at high speed attached to a shaft. Her conclusion reshaped the timeline of human weaponry. These were stone-tipped spears, and they were being used at least 500,000 years ago, long before your species Homo sapiens even existed. Think about what that means. The spear came first, we came after. So what problem was it solving? Hunting at a distance is the obvious answer. A spear lets you strike before an animal closes the gap and rips you apart. But that's the shallow version. The deeper answer is about risk. Every close encounter with a large animal was a coin flip with your life. A spear tilted that coin flip in your favor. Just slightly. And slight advantages, repeated across thousands of generations, are how a fragile ape becomes the dominant species on Earth. Here's where it gets stranger. A sharpened stick is easy. Anyone could imagine that. But a stone-tipped spear is not easy. It requires you to nap a stone into a specific shape, carve a groove into wood, bind the two together with plant fiber or sinew, and trust that the whole assembly won't fall apart mid-swing. That is not instinct. That is engineering. German archaeologist Hartmut team uncovered something even more staggering in 1994 at a coal mine here in Schöningen. Buried in ancient lake sediment were wooden spears, nearly 400,000 years old, so well preserved you could still see the tool marks. They were balanced like a modern javelin, thicker at the front, tapering toward the back. Whoever made them understood aerodynamics. Not in theory. In practice, through trial, failure, and memory passed from one hand to another. Ask yourself something. How many failed spears do you think it took before someone got the balance right? That failure is the part nobody puts on posters. For every spear that flew true, there were dozens that snapped, wobbled, or missed. And every single failure had to be remembered, discussed, corrected. That is the birth of something you still do every day, planning around a mistake so you don't repeat it. The spear also did something even more important than killing. It changed the shape of the group. Because once you could kill from a distance, you didn't need to be the strongest person in the tribe to contribute. You needed to be accurate, patient, willing to wait in silence for the right moment. Anthropologist Marlies Lombard, who has spent years studying the microscopic wear patterns on ancient hunting tools in South Africa, has argued that projectile weapons demanded a new kind of brain, one that could hold a sequence in mind. Aim, throw, track, follow, not a single reaction. A chain of decisions planned in advance. And that is the twist most people miss. You assume tools made humans stronger. What they actually did was make humans more patient, more able to imagine an outcome before it happened. A spear only works if you can picture, in your mind, the animal falling before you ever throw it. That is not muscle. That is imagination doing physical work. And once a group has members who can picture the future and act on it together, something else becomes possible. Coordination. A hunt with spears is not a lone act. It's a group closing in from different angles, communicating without shouting, trusting that the person on the other side of the animal is doing their part too. That kind of trust doesn't come from strength. It comes from shared intention. From language, or at least the beginning of it. So the spear didn't just feed the tribe, it may have quietly built the foundation for cooperation itself. Here is the part that should make you sit up. This didn't happen once. It happened over and over, in different places, refined again and again for hundreds of thousands of years, before a single word was ever written down. Before agriculture, before fire was fully mastered in every region, before your species had even finished evolving, the spear outlasted empires that hadn't been born yet, and it never really left. You don't carry a spear, but you carry its logic every single day. Every time you plan 3 moves ahead in an argument you haven't had yet. Every time you save money for a future you can't see. Every time you practice something painful now so it pays off later. That is spear logic. Delay the reward. Trust the plan. Act on a picture in your head that doesn't exist yet. Researchers studying tool use in early hominins keep circling the same idea. The tools didn't just respond to a smarter brain. The tools may have helped build one. Every time an ancestor of yours had to picture an animal falling before the throw, they were rehearsing the exact mental skill you use now to imagine a future version of yourself. The one who finishes the project. The one who gets the job. The one who doesn't repeat the mistake. A sharpened stick taught your ancestors to think in scenes that hadn't happened yet. You're still doing it. Right now, reading this, some part of your brain is already picturing what you'll do after this video ends. That flicker of imagined future is the same cognitive machinery that once let a hungry, fragile ape stand on an open plain, hold a piece of wood with a stone tip, and believe before any proof existed that the throw would land. You reach for a stick without thinking, but once that reach was the whole future of your species, balanced in a single hand.